We're going to work on this middle school fraction problem. Let's go ahead and read the question first. Al received some money from his grandmother. Al spent $12 and gave 2/3 of what was left to Bob. Bob spent $4 and gave 3/4 of what was left to Carl. Carl spent $6 and gave 4/5 of what was left to Dan. If Dan received $72 from Carl, how much money did Al receive from his grandmother? So it's a challenge problem appropriate for middle school students. I would encourage you to try the problem on your own. If you can't finish the problem on your own, feel free to look at the rest of the video. So please pause the video at this point and work on the problem on your own. See if you can get a solution to the question. Now I'm going to solve this problem visually and I'll work backwards. What you see here is a visual description of what is going on in the question. Al spent $12 and then he gave 2/3 of what was left to Bob. So the denominator, 3, tells me that what was left could be split into 3 equal parts. And he gave 2 of those 3 parts to Bob. And whatever Bob got, Bob spent $4 and 3/4 of what was left. So what was left after Bob spent $4 must be, we should be able to divide that into 4 equal parts, and he gave 3 of those parts to Carl. Carl spent $6 and whatever was left, we should be able to divide that into 5 pieces because he gave 4/5 to Dan and Dan received 72. So let's see if we can solve this problem visually working backwards. Note, Carl spent $6 and gave 4/5 of the money to Dan. So this is what Dan received. This is what Dan received, 4/5 of what was left. Now if this is 72, if 4 chunks together represent 72, each chunk must represent $18. This must be $18. Now you do want to get this. This is challenging. Why? Because these 4 chunks together must represent $72. How do I know that? Because Carl gave 4/5 of what was left to Dan. 4/5 should be 70, so you take 72. You take 72 divided by 4, so each chunk should be 18. So each of the 5 chunks has to be 18. And 18 times 5 is 90. So Carl must have had 90 plus 6, $96. I'm going to put it here. And you can check your math. Take your $96, spend $6, pretend you're Carl, and you have $90, and 4/5 of 90 has to be 72, and that's what Dan gets. Let's move up. What did Bob do? Bob spent $4 and gave 3/4. So since Bob gave 3/4 of what was left, we took the denominator 4 and cut up the leftover of Bob's money into 4 equal parts, and he gave 3/4 to Carl, so this has to be $96. Take 96, divide by 3. 96 divided by 3 is going to be 32, so this has to be 32. Now if each square is 32, 4 times 32 is 128. Each chunk here is 32. Multiply 32 by 4, you're going to get 128. And you have to add this 4 back. 128 plus 4 is 132. So that's what Bob must have had. $132. Once again, you can check. Take your 132, subtract 4, you're going to get 128 and divided by 4. Each part is going to be 32. Multiply 32 by 3, you're going to get 96. That's what Carl received. What did Al do? Al spent $12 and he whatever was left, he took 2/3 of that money and gave it to Bob. So that tells me this must be equivalent to 132. If two squares or two chunks is equivalent to 132, each piece must be 132 divided by 2 is going to be 66, I believe. Let me double check. 66 times 2 is 132. Okay, if each chunk is 66, 3 of the chunks will be 66 times 3. That's going to be 198, and you will add 12 to that. 198 plus 12 is 210, so Al must have had $210. That's my answer. So what I did, I used the work backwards technique to solve the problem. I drew a picture for each statement, and here's my answer. You can try it algebraically if you want, but the equation that you will get will be pretty complicated. So working backwards is not a bad way to go.